Okay, make sure you have all your components. Make sure you have the 20 resistors and 4 transistors and 2 ICs and the PCB board that we have from 1 to 9, and again that 10 socket pin. So make sure you have everything handy before you start. So take some flux and then apply onto the top of the PCB board. This is going to be starting from O, so from here, from Q. So apply some flux from Q on the back of the board. Take the PCB and this 10 socket one and the PCB, and then put it starting from Q, and make sure that the color code is facing up. The black will come to the left and the red. Okay, and since we already applied flux, now what we need to do is just solder the piece. I'm going to show one, and then I'm going to finish it and show how it is done. Okay, so I applied one, and the rest I'll show as soon as this is done. And make sure when you solder this is straight. It should not be crooked. Okay, as you can see, we finished soldering this part and it is ready. So now we need to solder. Let's leave the bottom two and then start soldering the ICs. So ICs, we are starting from V4 to V7. So, and make sure the IC that the half circle facing towards your left when you put it on the breadboard. So that means this half circle comes in the V4 side, V4 to V7. So connecting IC from V4 to V7. Before we start soldering using the helping hands, first we need to put some little bit of tip solder. Okay, so we are we're placing the IC from V4 to V7. IC half circle is on the V4 side. So before using helping hands, we need to solder at least 1 or 2 pieces so that we can put it onto the helping hands. So how to solder, place your finger on the back of that IC and then hold it, and then take a little bit of soldering lead and apply to one end of the pin, and same way apply to another end so that IC would stay onto the board. Okay, now IC is steady, so we can use the helping hands to finish the rest of the part. I placed it on the soldering station, helping hands. Clean the tip. Start soldering. Okay, finished one IC solder, and I'm going to take another IC, and again this one also. That semicircle starting in M4 to M7. place it in the PCB. So that means we are leaving one column on the PCB. Okay, I'm going to apply some flex. It's very important. The flex here not only helps the component, it also helps spreading the solder in lead. So it removes any buildup on that copper piece. So if I try to place it on helping hands, the IC would fall down. So I'm going to put some soldering lead that will hold it in place. Then I can put it on helping hands and finish the rest of the soldering. Now we finished both the ICs soldering, so they're looking good, all the points joined. Take 4 transistors now. The 4 transistors, what we are using is NPN transistor. So the facing away from you, and the left side is the emitter, and the middle one is the base, and on the right side is the collector. So the base slightly bend backwards away from the emitter and collector, and this one we are going to place it on the PCB. On the PCB here I'm going to take on A1 I'm going to place A1, I am going to place the base of the first transistor, and A2 I am placing the emitter, and B2 I am placing the collector. So place the transistor, and then apply some flex. Here emitter part we are going to bend it towards the edge. So the emitter is in A2, so that is bent towards the edge. So the remaining 2 is solder and then trim the edges. Okay, now I am going to place the rest of the transistors. The second transistor starting, the emitter, the base goes to A3, and emitter goes to A4, and collector goes to B4. Okay, next one is the third transistor. Base goes to A5, and emitter goes to A6, and collector goes to B6. And all emitters we are turning, bending towards the edge of that PCB. Only emitters we need to bend. So the fourth transistor, base goes to A7, emitter goes to A8, collector goes to B8. And again we need to bend the emitter of that. And then all the 4 transistors we need to solder. I'm going to trim the edges except the emitter one. We need to trim rest of the edges. We don't need the rest of the edges. So take the diamond cutter and then trim the edge carefully. Okay, now I have 4 emitters pointing towards the edge. Now take 4 resistors for the 4 transistors. Now we need to connect this one for the base. Okay, the way you connect the resistor, it is very important. You need to follow this exactly. So this one end of the resistor, for the first one we are putting in B1. The second one goes to, the second end of the resistor goes to C1. So likewise we need to place the remaining 4 resistors. The second one goes to B3 and C3. Third one goes to B5, and one end, another end is goes to C5. B5 to C5 to B5. And fourth resistor goes to B7 and C7. Okay, now we need to solder all 4 resistors on the back. Don't trim any edges yet. Okay, so finished soldering all 4 resistors on the back, and the resistors, you can carefully remove one end of the resistor that is in the C, column C. Trim edges, all 4 resistor edges in C. Don't throw away any of these pieces that you trim, because we are going to use them in the later part. So save these resistor edges that we trim, keep it safely. And now the 4 resistors other end is in the column B. So this column, what we need to do is we need to bend it towards column A, and then solder to the base in column A. So if you look at it, let me place it on the station. So apply a little bit flux. bent all 4 resistor the edge one end towards A. That is the end starting in B, they bent it towards A, and then soldering on connecting to A. Make sure don't connect to emitter. These resistor only should connect to the base. All 4 bases are connected with resistors now. And once you solder to A, trim the edge, the one from the resistor. Do not trim the emitters. Carefully trim the resistor ends. Emitters still stay as is. Do not trim emitters. Okay, all 4 resistor ends trim. Now the board looks neat with only emitters showing there, and bases all connected with the resistor. Now all 4 bases connected with resistor. Now we need to finish remaining 16 resistors. So these resistors, if you take the IC and look at the diagram, you need to match that resistors. R1, we are starting in it is W. W8, is it 8? Yes, W8. So we take one resistor, place one end in W8 and the second end in W9. The way we are placing it is this way. So the resistor stays like straight in vertical position, not in a horizontal position like we did for the breadboard. So this resistors, the one end that is in W9 bent towards the edge. Do not trim that even after soldering it. So the other end we solder it and then we trim that piece. So you need to repeat for remaining 15 resistors from here, leaving only P, column P, leave column P, sorry, not column P, it is a column O, column O, leave column O, do not solder anything in column O. So W, so basically we are connecting all the P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, and like that we are going to solder G, H, I, J, K, L, M, we are going to solder, and N. So we are going to solder the resistors in all these places.
But never me.
Okay, now finished soldering all the resistors, all the 16 resistors soldered to the board, and all the ends bent and kept ready. We did not trim anything yet. So here the one resistor that is in the W, column W, that piece, leaving that alone. The rest of the things you need to solder back to the IC. So this one we are going to use a wire wrapping wire to connect the W, and also the other one in N we are going to use wire wrapping wire to connect the N. N and W will be connecting separately. So the rest of them will just bend it back towards the IC and then solder back to the IC. That whatever the IC pin in that appropriate plane, we are going to solder it back to that part. Okay, all pins bent carefully. We're going to solder them. So same thing we are going to continue for the rest of the pins. Okay, now soldered all pieces. Now I'm going to trim on the back, not the ones point away from the board. So I'm going to trim all these pieces. So carefully trim them. Okay, except the one in N and the one in W, the rest of them I trimmed which are all connected to the IC directly behind it. So now I'm trying to make sure all pins are okay, nothing over soldered, because the IC pins are very close by. We need to make sure that we are not shorting any of the pins anywhere. If we have more lead, then clean it before you complete the rest of the stuff. So all the connection looking okay here. So these two, the one in W and the one in N, now we are going to use a wire wrapping wire. The wire wrapping wire is the brown wire, the solid brown wire. You got it in your kit. So this wire, I'm going to take a tiny tip at the end to remove the coating and then expose the wire. So I'm going to take the tip, I'm going to solder it to the resistor. In fact, I'll do it in the other direction. So I bring the wire from here to the back. Instead of directly doing it from the back, I'm going to bring it from top. Make sure this wire is only touching to the one end of the resistor, not to the other end. You should not touch to both ends, and also it should not be touching the other components. So any excess wire I'm trimming, that wire wrapping wire, the edge should be tiny edge exposed. If it is more, it's going to touch other components. So trimmed it. So I'm going to solder this part carefully to the resistor end in N. This tiny tape I soldered. Now the wire wrapping wire, I'm going to tighten this. Carefully pulling down. Do not apply too much of pressure. If we apply too much of pressure, you are going to probably break that component there. Okay. So the wire wrapping wire measured a little bit. Okay, so I don't need too much here. I'm going to trim the wire. So this piece is connecting to the second one as shown in the diagram here. This is what we are connecting here. Again, expose a small piece of that wire wrapping wire and connect to the one in L4, L3. From L3, I'm going to bring it back of the board where I can solder it to the IC. Okay, brought it back. Here I'm going to solder it back to the second pin there. Soldered that to back of that IC. Now I'm going to trim this excess wire from the resistor. It looks a lot cleaner. Same thing we need to do for W. So the W we are going to take from U3, and I think it is U3. Yeah, U3 to. We're going to bring it back to the resistor and connect it here, which is in W. So again, you can take a small wire wrapping wire, rough length. So from one, so I took a small wire wrapping wire, trimmed one end. Should not be too much because we are connecting on the back. So trim the excess part. Tiny bit is exposed here. So here connect it to the resistor, and I'm showing in another way how you can do it. So I'm going to solder it back to the resistor. Okay, now to trim this excess resistor.